honestly, it was more exciting because I knew that there wasn't a lot of people like me when I was going through the pipeline. And since then, and over the 10 years that has grown since, that statistic has popped up to 9%, which is incredible. And I am not the only woman in the room. There has been times when I was, but I'm seeing more and more female leaders, female generals. My bosses are women, which is just incredible. And I don't think there's this big division in gender. Like we say, a Marine is a Marine.
3 things you will learn from this episode: how my guest went from Division One softball to Team USA bobsledding. Number 2, how she turned military discipline into gold medals, and there's a lot of them, and leadership excellence. And number 3, the mindset shift that allowed her to balance elite athletics with military service. Welcome to this episode of the Heartbeat for Hire podcast. I feature Olympians, CEOs, disruptors, authors, professional athletes, and the best of the best, where they share their stories of resilience with my lens on leadership and culture. Let's get started. What do you get when you combine a U.S. Marine captain, a Team USA bobsledder with over 20 medals, a best-selling children's author, a passionate public speaker, a combat deployed Marine with a mission to inspire? You get Riley Tejcek. From earning over 20 medals on the world stage to serving in a combat deployment, Riley is a force of nature, determined, inspiring, and always aiming higher. Riley, welcome to the show.
Wow, that's like the best introduction. Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. You have a really incredible story. I've been looking forward to this, and that's how I start every show. So I hope I didn't botch how we say your last name. Can you just say it so everybody knows?
It's Tejcek. You were really
Tejcek.
close. You
I
were really
totally
close.
botched it. Okay.
No, it's
Tejcek.
okay.
Thank you. But let's start with your story. So tell everybody, in the short amount of time you've been alive, you've done incredible stuff. So please take us through some of your journey.
I'll take you to the beginning. I was born and raised in Carmel, Indiana. My dad was a professional baseball player. My mom came from nothing and became a really successful businesswoman. So they really hammered athletics and academics into me as a really young girl. My mom's favorite thing to say was, it's great to be pretty, but it's more important to be smart. And that's something that I truly, my mom still says it to this day. So she'll be really glad I gave her
I
that
love
plug.
her.
But, growing up, I wanted to be like my dad. He was my role model. I remember getting his baseball card. So there's nothing more I wanted to be a college softball player because my dad,
Yeah, of course.
succeeded in that. So that's where I had my sights. And I was able to accept a Division I softball scholarship to George Washington University in DC, which hit exactly what I was looking for: athletics and academics.
Yep.
And I thought I wanted to be an FBI agent. Full disclosure, zero military. I never saw it growing up in Indiana.
Yeah.
There's no bases or anything like that. So I met a Marine recruiter when I was 18 on campus, decided, hey, I want to join the Marine Corps. That was a whole thing for my parents initially at first. A
Yeah,
little bit of
it is for
tears.
every parent.
Yeah. A little bit of tears, a little bit of, it's just a phase, honey. Don't worry. She won't actually go through with it. Little do they know now, my mom has like the Proud Marine Mom bumper sticker, and I can't get her to take it off. But that's my introduction to the Marine Corps. I ended up going 2 summers, so I commissioned right away when I graduated. So I was maintaining military training and Division I athletics. We ended up winning the Atlantic 10 championship my senior year, which was incredible. I commissioned as a second lieutenant, went through all my training. Insert bobsled. I knew a bobsledder from playing softball at GW. It was COVID. I wanted to put myself out there. I wanted to keep competing as women. There's not a whole lot of opportunities after college. And at the age of, I think, 22, 23, I did the sport of bobsled for the first time ever, and ended up being extremely successful in it, thanks to the Lord and my command and everyone who believed in me. Within 5 years, I competed in 2 world championships. Like you said, I won gold this past January, which was incredible, in New York, and then collectively have been able to compete all around Europe and North America. And then during that time, I just wanted to inspire. That's just my message. And even though I'm 28, I don't want age to prevent me from sharing the story of believing in hope and courage and doing things that are hard. So I wrote a children's book that just released a couple months ago. If you can dream it, be it. I, like you said, also do some public speaking, do a little fun stuff. My family was on Family Feud a couple
Yes,
months
I saw
ago.
that. So fun.
Yeah, I just like to surprise people, but no, honestly, I like to do things that are hard, that are different, and I just want to be successful in anything that I do.
Well, you don't do anything easy, that is for sure. I mean, let's just start with the Marines. Of all of the military branches, and my
Mhm.
father-in-law was a Marine, my dad was an Army, and my stepdad was Army as well. Marines are hardcore.
Oh yeah.
And that is and first, thank you for your service. Um, but that is a big decision. And there's not a lot of cute blonde Marines with boobs that are like crushing it. And so like talk me through you decide you're going to be a Marine. It's
Mhm.
not a super welcome place for women, at least from what I can tell. How was that?
I started back in 2015, 2016. And at the time, the statistics, I believe, were about only 5% of women were officers
Yeah.
back then, which is really intimidating,
Yeah.
which is why I knew I had to do this.
Mm.
And something my father taught me is if your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough. And
Oh, good one.
yeah, that was like a solid one. And it's scary because it's unknown, it's challenging, and there's not a lot of people that have done it.
Yeah.
So if you ask any Marine, why did you choose the Marines? I guarantee you, almost everyone, there's a little bit of a hint of it was the hardest route
Right.
possible. We have the highest physical fitness standards. You're being asked the most of you, and you have to be able to deploy in every different climb and place.
Right.
So we're everywhere.
Right.
And we have a very unique tradition of excellence. Now, I love my brothers and sisters in the other services, so I'm not going to throw hate
Oh
on them,
no,
but I
no
wanted to
shade
be the
on
best.
anyone else. I just
Right.
know Marines is
Marines are different, and we're recognized around the world like that. And that's what I wanted to be. So honestly, it was more exciting because I knew that there wasn't a lot of people like me when I was going through the pipeline. And since then, and over the 10 years that has grown since, that statistic has popped up to 9%, which is incredible. And I am not the only woman in the room. There has been times when I was, but I'm seeing more and more female leaders, female generals. My bosses are women, which is just incredible. And I don't think there's this big division in gender. Like we say, a Marine is a Marine.
yes.
Like period. Like you earn the title, like you have my respect. But there is something to say about seeing people that this used to be a men's club
Yeah.
only, and we have now women that can hit this high standard, a high mark, which is incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
So I want to surround myself with the best
Yeah.
constantly. And that's what the Marines are looking for too. So you will find the best in the Marines. And you know that every single female that you see has generally had to work just a little bit harder to earn that because the standard is so high, but expected for us to be able to be around our male counterparts that are some of the most fittest men in the
Yeah.
whole entire world.
So I think you're a little unique. I mean, obviously you totally are unique, but you're a little unique in your drive. And there is definitely a perception in your generation of, you know, ooh, discomfort scares me, so I'm pulling back. And what do you say to people your own age that want to try hard stuff, but maybe they were helicopter parented and they've never really been given the reins to go after big things? So what do you say to them?
My biggest thing I talk about now is the fact that as parents, we're not allowing our children to fail, which
Yes,
means we're not building resiliency, we're not building grit. And those are my two favorite words that you see
love that.
majority of the top 1% of people, resiliency and grit. And you can't help how your parents raised you. And I'm not saying it's your parents' fault. And I'm not saying it's the generation. I'm not blaming anybody. But once you hit a point in your life where you take accountability and you take ownership, you need to do things that are hard. So my big message to people is I talk about this fear. It really goes back to fear.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. I don't know. It's never been done before. Everything around me is fine. Why don't I just stay where I am and live like this? And my message to them is you have been given gifts that only you are good at that this world
Right.
needs. And because you're operating in fear, you are letting not only yourself and your family, but you're letting generations down by not walking forward in your purpose.
Mm, yes, louder for
And
the
when you,
in the back.
yeah, and when you tell someone that, it's like, okay, hold up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so what's your excuse? What excuse are you telling me right now of why you haven't done it? Number one excuse, I don't have time. False. You have time. You have the same amount of time as every other person. And unless Amazon has opened a new store where you can buy more hours in the day, you have the same amount of time as I do. It's just where are your priorities
Well,
at?
it's
Like,
choices, right? Yeah.
exactly. And for everyone who tells me you don't have time, I say, go on your screen time and tell me that you don't have time.
Oh, that's a good indicator. That or your Netflix or
Yeah,
you can give those things up. So for
it's a
sure.
choice. It's your
Yeah.
choice and it's your priorities. And you have to own your priorities, but check yourself when you want to come up with all these excuses of why you're not living a life full of excellence or
Yeah.
doing something that you've always wanted to do.
So I love having athletes and veterans on the show because there's such a natural way to see someone like a coach and a coachee or a leader and a soldier and you know leadership has changed over the
Mhm.
last few decades a lot and that whole authoritarian of like do what I say, don't ask questions, do not pass go, clock in, clock out. That's not really working anymore.
Right.
So you have a really unique perspective because you are an athlete, you're a soldier, and you have different kinds of leadership, I would imagine, from the coaches and your higher ups. So what has been the most inspiring way that's gotten you to do really hard stuff, like harder than you ever thought you could? Who,
Wow.
maybe some examples or some stories of things that really kind of made you go, oh, that was just what I needed to go do this.
I think what I've learned, and just like you said, that was the old style of leadership, but we've had to adapt and we have to evolve. Now, anything extreme in any one way, I think is pretty bad.
Yep.
But one thing we talk about in the Marine is train your men and women as a team,
Yes.
as a team. And I think as a team, that's what we're strong as. And so what I like to see is, hey, don't explain to me every single decision. It takes too much time and we're not efficient,
Yeah.
especially if we're in a situation where we don't have time in the military. But I need you to have me buy in and I need authenticity. I need to trust you. So if you do say something and you say it like very quickly and we don't have time to explain it, I completely trust you. But trust takes time to build, and being authentic means that I need you to show up for me, but I know what I need to expect from you each and every time.
Yeah.
So leadership that works for me is, hey, I'm invested in you as a person. I am a person as well. Yes, I'm a Marine. I'm an officer ahead of you, but I'm going to show you that I'm a person. I'm going to let you know the things that I care about. When I am able to, I'm going to kind of give you the back of the why. I'm not going to overly explain why I want to do something. So, for example, making it really, really simple, right? Why do men get haircuts all the time? Why do we have high grooming standards? Well, you could be like, well, this is silly. Why do I do this? But if I explain to you, hey, it's attention to detail. If you can do
Yes.
the little things right, if you have discipline in the super, super small things of taking care of yourself, then all of a sudden you can handle bigger and bigger tasks. And if you can handle discipline at this level, you can handle discipline at this level, and it goes higher and higher. So if you can explain that to someone, they're like, okay, at least I understand the
Sure.
mentality, right? I've explained it to you once. You know, you start to trust the things that I say. I'm authentic the way I show up. It's really the shift, though, of being a team. And
Yeah.
I want you to look out for everybody, not yourself, not just for your promotions. I don't want you to have bias of, hey, I'm going to help this person out, but I don't really like you. It's this concept of we all win and lose together. If one eats, everyone eats, and training together as a team. I can't like nail that in hard enough. When there is breaks and cracks, it's because people don't feel unified, they don't feel seen, and they don't feel heard and
Yeah.
valued. If you can make people come together and all those things exist, you're going to be successful no matter what.
Yeah, I saw that when I was managing big teams for IBM, and um, I had an interesting experience where I had a bunch of teams that were thrown at me from a bunch of different acquisitions, and nobody understood each other. Nobody cared about each other. They're there to sell, they're there to make their commission. And I knew there was a better way. I knew I had to get them to be interested in each other, to get them to care about each other, and really to collaborate. And once we were going to do that, we were going to be unstoppable. And so it's gratifying to hear that that's what works for you, but I also feel like many hands make light work. We all carry the load. We really support and help each other. Um, and I think that's such a smart way to lead in business, in sport, in the military. So that's really refreshing to hear. It's obvious, though. I mean, you see it in all the movies. You see Marines, it's a brotherhood, a
Mm.
sisterhood too. But it's that close knit, I've got you always kind of
Yep.
that's different than business. And I think in business, we don't really have that. We can't have that because there's so much volatility. But that comment that you made about caring about each other, being invested in each other, I think that really does make a huge difference. So let's pivot a little and talk about your book. So, what made you want to write the book? What's the book about? It's super cute. And I just love that it's doing so well.
Yeah, so a big part of this was my story where I said I never saw a female Marine when I was younger. So I wanted to make sure on the cover, the first thing that you see is a little girl dreaming about that she can be a Marine. And the book really originated from the idea of sharing my story so much and talking about, as a child, the things that I thought a woman could or could not do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I noticed that at the age of 4 to 8 is when children are starting to make up decisions in their heads, right?
Yeah.
Little than that, it's the world is just coming at them and they're innocent and it's awesome. But once they hit about 4 years old, that's when people start telling them, no, you can do this, you can't do that. And they start forming beliefs that are core memories that stick with them for the rest of their lives. And I've seen this upcoming generation have a little bit of limiting factors and pivot maybe in a direction that I'm not really excited about.
Yeah.
They say now statistically majority of children want to become an influencer, YouTube, social media.
Easy. Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, oh no. So basically, part of my story is trying to show that multiple things can exist at once. And you can be a Marine and wear cami paint and shoot weapons, but also be a pageant winner, while at the same time still write a book. And even though I didn't major in English, be able to be successful in launching that and being a marketer when I have nothing to do with that, as well as being a professional athlete and excelling while doing all these things. So all of these things can exist at once.
Yeah.
And
You said something right there. I wasn't an English major either, and I wrote 2 books. So I'm with you, girl. Anybody can put something great out into the world, and it's up to you to add your special sauce. And if you're
yeah.
not, you're just wasting your time.
Well, and the thing is, a lot of people feel underqualified, and I don't blame them, right? Like, there was a time where I'm like, how do I write a book? I have no idea what I'm
Yeah.
doing. But that's what stops people in their tracks. So for me, I'm like, I'm not going to take that. I'm going to find a way, and I want to get this message out there. It really revolves around my favorite Bible verse, which is Joshua 1:9, which talks about being bold and courageous. And that's just something I want kids to see, is that if you're bold and courageous, you can chase after the things that you want. And you're not going to let fear hold you back. So without giving too much away, it's the story of a little girl wanting to talk about what she wants to be and who she wants to become when she gets older, and she feels like she has to limit herself, but really she ends up telling people, I'm going to do all these things. And even though she got a little bit made fun of initially, she comes back years later having achieved all this and is now impacting the youth to continue to do it and being an example for all.
So beautiful. And you did slip in there that there was a pageant winner, and I believe you are a pageant winner too. Am I right?
Yes.
So there's nothing Riley has not done, and I cannot wait to see where she's going next with this. So let's just pause for just a second, and we'll come back in 30 seconds with some more fun questions for Riley. If you like the stories you hear every week on this show, guess what? I have hundreds more from my nearly 30 years in the leadership trenches. And I don't just talk about building irresistible culture. I do it. You can bring me into Keynote, moderate your panels, or work directly with your leaders to drive material change. So let's roll up our sleeves, go out to heartbeatforhire.com, let's connect, and let's make some magic happen. Go lead with heart. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, Riley, here's one of my favorite parts of the show. So one of the first things I love to ask is, what inspires you?
What inspires me is honestly my faith. I was not a Christian my whole life. I went back and forth. But what inspires me and motivates me is that Jesus died on the cross for me and gave me gifts that I'm supposed to use while I'm on this world. And that's my purpose. And it inspires me to be an example for young women, an example for whoever, that I'm going to continue to do hard things every day. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to choose to love despite sometimes how nasty and ugly this world can be.
Right.
And I hope to have a domino effect and a ripple effect on every person that I meet. So when I wake up every day, my why, what inspires me, is to leave this world better than I found it. And not sounding cliche, but if this was my last day on earth, did I use it to my maximum capacity to love on people, to give back and make a difference that could be felt even if I'm no longer here?
Well, you totally segued into the next question, which is what would you like your legacy to be? So anything else you want to add to that? Because that was beautiful.
Yeah, I don't want my legacy to be known from what I did, my accomplishments, right? How many books I sold, how many medals I won. I want to be just remembered for how I made people feel. And
Mm.
I want that to be something that makes people smile is, wow, Riley was really thoughtful. She would smile at me. She gave me compliments. She was excited about life, right? I want people to remember how I made them feel, not what I did. And if I could do that, I think that could be the most successful legacy I could possibly leave behind.
I love that you brought that up. I just did a post on this yesterday about how good leaders celebrate others and they
Mm.
lift others up. And I said, go write some LinkedIn recommendations about the people who have made an impact on your life. And being a generous leader is something that always looks good on you. So I love that you brought that up and just kind of moving through the world and seeing the good and celebrating the good. It makes a ripple effect not just for them, but for you too. And the more that you do that, the richer your life becomes. So I love that that is you're embodying that. So I know you're doing some speaking. Who are you speaking to? Who's hiring you? And who are you really working with now? I mean, you got enough on your plate between the Marines and the bobsledding, but there's work too. So talk about that.
I love public speaking. I was a student in high school and middle school that when it came to giving speeches and everyone's like rocking back and forth, freaking out, I'm like,
Let's
I'll go
go.
again, I'll go for you, I'll help you out. I just love it because I feel like that's my best form of communication.
Same.
My sister is a good writer and reader. I'm just good verbally. And I've noticed that being able to speak to children and read my book and talk to them has been a age demographic that I never thought that
Mm.
I could really invest in and give back to and almost like simplify things. And that's been so rewarding and fun because that's been different. There's never been a reason for me to talk to children until I've had this book avenue that opens so many doors to bring like show and tell and to talk and to get kids excited. So
Mm.
while I enjoy that and while I think that that's a new passion on my heart, I'm really geared towards the 25 to 50-year olds and I want to speak to them. And the reason why is because I want to light a fire under them out of love, a loving fire, and just really question themselves with these things.
Yeah.
What are you doing to improve yourself every day? How are you living outside of your comfort zone? What hard things are you constantly doing?
Yeah.
And just kind of poking them and saying, hey, like wake up. Like there's still time for you to make a difference and make an impact in what you are doing. Check yourself and how you show up for yourself and for your family and for the generations that are going to come after you.
Yeah.
And I've been able to speak in the corporate space. I've been able to speak to veteran groups. I've been able to speak to athletes. So it's just a wide variety that I don't really care who it is, whether it's children, whether it's that group. I just want to be able to speak to people who need to hear a message. And I have become so passionate about that that's actually like my number one pursuit right now
Mhm.
in order of my priorities is increasing my public speaking. So that's why I always accept every single podcast because I'm like, if I can impact one life from the story, it's worth it. And I even got a message the other day about someone who listened to a podcast from 2 years ago. And
Yeah.
it's like, you
That's
have
the
no,
beautiful thing about podcasts. They're
yeah.
evergreen. They hang around. It's pretty cool.
And she was like, you have no idea how much I needed to hear this and how much it inspired me. Like,
Love
thank
that.
you so much. And I'm like, I don't even, what did I say on that one? But it's powerful. And like you said, it's out there. It's out there for people to view at any point in life and can resonate with people at different times. So I am excited to hopefully continue to do this as much as possible, see what opportunities the Lord leads, whether that demographics to children, to corporate, to veterans, to athletes, to whatever. I think because of my unique background of things that I've done, I can kind of fit
You
into a
can
lot of
appeal
different.
to a lot of different audiences for sure. And, the fact that you're an Olympian and an active duty Marine, like that's not something small. So both of those are massive. And I will just say, as a 53-year-old woman, I completely reinvented myself a few years ago, left corporate, went out on my own, started the show, wrote some books, did a ton of uncomfortable things.
Yeah.
The world is your oyster. It's up to you to go grab it. And if you sit back and wait for someone to hand it to you, good luck. It probably
Yeah.
won't come. But if you try and you put yourself out there amazing things can happen. So, just look at Riley and look at all she's done in her time on this planet.
Well, hello. So yeah, you can see that. And like you
Yeah.
said, there's no age where it can't happen.
No.
And that's where people make excuses. And so again, that's why I want to just love on people and say, hey, like wake up. Like the best time to start is now. It doesn't
Well,
matter what you did in the past. You can't change that. And don't project that you can't or you
no.
won't in the future. Just take one step, small step at a time, each and every day. Surround yourself with the right people. Operate based off of love, and you will be so incredibly impressed with the things that will come from that.
Yeah, surrounding yourself with the right people is huge, and we're both outliers, and that
Mhm.
community is incredible, and it brings the best out in us always. So think about that one audacious thing that you've been wanting to try. Don't give yourself a plan B and go for it. And
Yep.
surround yourself with people who are already doing it so you can learn from them and then you can try. So, what is next for you?
So I will be transitioning away from bobsled. So I I'm not going to be able to make this Olympic team. I gave it everything I had. I went to Olympic team trials, so I can never claim a title Olympian. But I competed in Team USA. I competed in World Championships,
Yeah.
stuff I'm extremely proud of. But my visa just got approved with my fiance, who's in England, and he's going to be moving here. And next big thing is I can't wait to be a mom. And most people don't expect that answer, but I can't wait to be a mother and to just love on my child and other children and experience what so many women have and then tackle that while balancing work and all these fun things. So I know I'm in for it. I know being a mom sometimes can be the hardest job, but that is something that I have my now I set on as well, and I think is such a beautiful privilege that I can't wait to experience motherhood.
Oh, it is the hardest job you will ever have, harder than anything you ever thought you could do, but it is by far the most rewarding thing. And
Yeah.
you see your world through a different lens, and it's pretty cool. So highly recommend it. So I'm excited for you. That's amazing. So how can people find you? And if they want to work with you, what are the
Mhm.
best ways to work with you?
So you can find me on two places on social media on LinkedIn, Riley Tejcek, or on Instagram, Riley.tjack. There's a lot of fake accounts. I'm only on those two platforms. That's only
And
where you'll
we'll
find me.
tag you in all the places
Yeah.
and put it in the show notes too, so
Yeah.
people
So
don't
we'll
need to
make
worry.
sure. Just reach out to me. I always tell people I want to connect with you. If you listen to this podcast, you took something away, or you want someone to hype you up, or you have questions or anything, please, please, please reach out to me. I respond to everyone. And then for speaking engagements and stuff like that, I'm still building. I'm working on a website, a couple of things. But for right now, you can just shoot me an email, shoot me a LinkedIn message. I can send you over some stuff that I have and have been doing. And the easiest and best thing you can do for me is just like and follow along. It's absolutely free. Or you can pray for me. That's what I tell people. Those two things are free to follow, to like, to be positive, or to just pray from a distance. Those are two things that cost nothing.
Yeah.
If you are interested in purchasing my book, it's available on Amazon. That's probably the easiest way for people to get it. But yeah, I'm easy to find. Please reach out to me. And I want to continue to invest in you all and be a supporter for everything that you guys have going on as well.
Well, you are a delight. Thank you for inspiring my audience. Thank you for inspiring me. I've been so looking forward to this conversation. And you guys, you can do hard things.
Mhm.
So take a page out of Riley's book and go get her book and talk to her, reach out to her, connect with her. She is an absolute pleasure in person. I swear everything you're seeing here is the real thing. She is a tremendously lovely human. And it has been an absolute joy having you on the show, my friend. So thank you for being here. Sit tight, everybody. We're going to hold for an audience question in just a second. Thanks for listening. Today's audience question fits really beautifully into this episode. And the question is, how do I handle a team that's hitting their numbers but is still disconnected? Well, first, I'm just going to say a lot of leaders won't care. They're going to just say, well, if they're hitting their numbers, I don't need to change anything. But as you saw from talking to Riley, she's all about making herself better. She's all about striving for that next thing. And I can just tell you from experience, when your team is connected, when they're interested in each other, incredible things can happen. I've done this, I've built this, and I will tell you, when you have a group of people that aren't interested in each other, you're missing opportunities. And I've probably talked about this before, but I was managing a team. I touched on it on the conversation with Riley, this Island of Misfit Toys team that really did not have any reason to care about each other. They were there for their commission. They really didn't want to talk to other people. They just wanted to do their job and go home. In many cases, they were all working from home anyway. So how could I make this more interesting for them? Well, the first thing we had to do was we played a Kahoot. And a Kahoot's like this online multimedia fun kind of quiz. And I asked everybody to send me an interesting fact about them that nobody knew. And so I had the team all together for a team meeting and we started this quiz. And the first one, was this person has visited every major ballpark in the country except one. And it was multiple choice. And three of the answers were men and one was a woman. And everybody gravitated to the men. But the answer was Marcia. And so all of a sudden, when everybody realizes that Marcia has visited every major ballpark except one, they're really interested. What made you want to do that? I didn't know you love baseball. And the questions started to come. But imagine we did that 40 times. So everybody had an interesting fact about them. And even if they couldn't remember the interesting fact, they asked, what was yours again? Tell me what you do that's different and interesting. But these facts are really, really cool. So all of a sudden, we created some camaraderie. We created some connection where there wasn't one, an interest where baseball lovers that had no idea that Marcia was doing this, all of a sudden were really interested in her. And then it led into, what do you do? And how can I work with you? And you're really smart. How can I be better? So it does not have to be a boring way to connect your team. You can do it with a lot of fun. And the more fun, the better. Don't forget, guys, you're in your office, you're in your job more than 60% of your life on a day to day. Make it fun. Enjoy the people you're with. I promise you, there's some fascinating stuff you don't know about with your teammates, and you don't have to be the leader to ask. So go out there, ask, be interested, be kind, celebrate each other, spread love like confetti, get out there, lead with heart. Have a great day, and thanks for listening. Tell your friends, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and thanks again for always supporting the show. Take care. Thanks for listening to this episode of Heartbeat for Hire. I hope you enjoyed what you heard. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or consider leaving a 5-star review and a great rating at Spotify or Apple. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great day.